David Bossie joins us right now from our nation's capital, I do believe. David, what do you make of what's going on?
Well, this is a disgusting smear of a very good man, Brett Kavanaugh, and it is really troubling to see on many levels what they're doing to Brett's family and his reputation, but also what they're doing to future victims of real assault. What they are doing is using a political cudgel against a political opponent, but they are having real-life impact on future victims. This is a disgusting display by Democrats that I think that we're going to unfortunately see repercussions of this forever, not only in Supreme Court nominations, but our politics in general.
David,
so it's very disturbing.
David, it's unfortunate if he is innocent that his reputation is tainted. But many people are asking now: is there enough time between now and the midterms, if they decide not to vote him in? Is there enough time for Republicans to bring in someone new and vote on someone else for the Supreme Court?
You know, I don't think that that's going to be necessary. I think Brett Kavanaugh is going to acquit himself very well today up against these just unfounded smear tactics by these out-of-touch Democrats. And I think that it's going to be important for our base to wake up and understand what is going on and the ramifications of losing in November. And we had better turn out to the polls, because that is going to be the difference between the Trump agenda continuing and ending. It's on Election Day in the midterms.
Well, there's no question, David. But the other thing is the base seems to be woken up for the administration, but the base isn't going to be enough. You have to wake up the people that are not as politically involved as everybody, as us on the couch and you over there in the studio. So what do you think people on the outside who aren't going to dive into these stories like we are, what do you think they're thinking right now, who often have sons and daughters?
That's right. And I have both, and I know many do.
As do I.
Yes, and it is very troubling to watch this entire episode. But I got to tell you that Brett Kavanaugh, just as an example, your average American is looking at these outlandish, just disgusting allegations of a gang rape. Look, this man was the #3 person in Ken Starr's operation investigating the Monica Lewinsky sexual assaults of Bill Clinton. The Clinton war machine took down every single person in the 1990s who was associated with that investigation, and this never came out 15 years after his high school finished, after he left high school, much closer than it is today. And he was involved in the highest sex crime investigation in American modern history, and nothing came out back then. This is ridiculous. They destroyed everybody who was involved in that investigation. The Clinton war machine took no prisoners, and Brett Kavanaugh would have been paid back for this. It is outrageous. There's no truth to it, and I think Brett's going to do very well today, and we're going to have him in the Supreme Court very soon.
Right. You're referring to the Bill Clinton war machine. Brian Fallon was part of the Hillary Clinton war machine, a campaign advisor. He is quoted as saying this: "Saving the Supreme Court from Trump's clutches has always involved a very complicated two-step. First, block Kavanaugh, which they're trying right now, then fight like hell to win back the Senate. If Kavanaugh drops out, we're halfway there. If Democrats are able to win back the Senate, we'd have a path to blocking Trump from picking any of the arch-conservatives on his short list." Is that what we're seeing right now?
It's exactly their tactics. And that is, thank you, Brian, for telling the American people exactly what your motives are. This is very important. That's why these midterms have consequences. And I got to tell you, when I get a chance to influence potentially the next Supreme Court nominee, the gloves are going to be off here. You have a history in this country of presidents replacing ideological seats with very close ideological people. So if Justice Ginsburg or Justice Breyer were to leave, President Trump would historically replace somebody who is close ideologically, not necessarily as far left, but somebody who was more moderate or even a liberal. I think those days are gone, and I think they're going to be paid back for it in devastating terms.
Broad strokes. David, if Brett Kavanaugh is guilty of this, he doesn't belong on the bench. But the only way to find out is to question these accusers. How do you do that and not look like a bully, not come off as somebody who's questioning something as sensitive as sexual assault?
It's a great question, Brian, and that's a very difficult thing, and that's why Chairman Grassley was so smart in bringing in somebody who is experienced at this. Look, there's a bunch of United States senators with a lot of different experiences, both Republican and Democrat, but none of them have the experience of the prosecutor they're bringing in that will basically prod Brett Kavanaugh and Dr. Ford in their memory, in their backgrounds, what they are able to say as fact and what they think they believe. And that is a very important thing for the American people to see. But a seasoned prosecutor is going to know very, very seriously where the boundaries are. And that is very important because it is a theater. That's what this is. This is going to be a TV show. Yeah. Well, we all saw what they did with Brett Kavanaugh, but we saw what the Senate Democrats did with Brett Kavanaugh in an open hearing when we had Spartacus moments, right? This is, by the way, an admitted groper who is now Spartacus.
Cory Booker.
Cory Booker. It's outrageous that he would do that in that hearing setting. I can't imagine what these people will do today.
Chuck Grassley says he hopes to prevent that. He's hoping to prevent a circus-like situation.
Not much press. It
takes common decency, and I haven't seen much of that
it's his
from
word
Senate
against
Democrats.
Her word. There's no evidence, so people are going to have to make up their own minds after they hear from both of them. Thank you so much for being with us, David.